Good evening, one and all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Thursday, the 5th of April, 2024, 6:10 p.m. Central Time. Well, a couple of things. Number one, for those of you that watch all these videos, at the end of the day, I've been having a problem with the ones on YouTube with bad data that keeps popping up. I saw it happen today on two charts, and I determined to put a lot of time in to see what was wrong. I think I found the issue. Had to do with cache and a memory issue in the charting service that I cleared out, and I haven't been able to get it to replicate. So that's good news. Hope I'm right. Okay, it never affected our futures charts. It only affected the stock charts for whatever reason. All righty, so let's talk about what we've got, because tomorrow's about one thing in the morning. The non-farm payrolls data. They're looking for a number I've seen from 200,000 to 215, most centered around 205 to 200,000. The jobless rate is expected to fall to 3.8%. The average hourly earnings are expected up 0.3% month over month. Everyone's going to start focusing on the average hourly earnings, obviously. We keep hearing about migration, immigrants. And they're getting jobs, and they're supposed to hold back the average hourly wage. If you see that slip from here and you get good numbers, what else could accommodate that but that? So that'll be one of the things that I think traders look real hard at, that, yeah, we're adding all these jobs. We can even create them, and we're not adding that. And that's because you've got the migrants coming over. They won't work at any price. They will take it, and they're taking the lower price jobs to get into the U.S. workforce. Now, are they legally being employed? I'm not going down that route. I don't know if they're legally being employed. How are they being counted? Well, I think employers, they do the count. What they do about the taxes for them, and do they have work permits, I have no idea, and I'm not going down that deep bunny hole. All right, so what happened today? I don't know if you watched. It was the biggest break in the Dow, I think, since March of 2023. So you got to go back a full year. And what I think was taking place, and I have not been right the markets in my updates in futures, especially for easily a week and a half or so. All right, I'm not getting killed or not killing my clients, but I haven't been right, and I know that. And any trader that tells you they can't get out of step with the market is a liar. You can, you do, nobody walks on water. Do you change your methods? No. You let the markets come to you, and they do. And if you've got what you think is tried and proven technique for you, you stick with it, all right? But everything adjusts. You keep looking at the work to see, am I wrong? Is this it? What I think has happened is the markets got away from people. The markets got euphoric. We saw the metals go into a vertical price rise. We saw energies go into a vertical price rise. You're at $91 in Brent right now. We saw the markets that we thought would be the strongest actually get a nosedive and then come back and prove their strength. We're watching bonds and notes all over the board. You were up at 345. 445, I'm sorry, in the 10-year note. Now you're back to 4.3. So you're everywhere on the yields as the markets go. And everybody was just saying, it doesn't matter what jobs reports are going to be. In fact, it doesn't matter any of the reports. The Fed is going to cut rates in June, and that's what we believe. And if you look at the CME FedWatch page, you see that is the reality as to what traders think. Unfortunately, there's another side to it, and that's what the Federal Reserve Chair thinks and what the members think. And today you had a combination of Neil Kashari, who is not a voting member, by the way, coming in and saying, well, I don't know that there has to be any rate cuts this year based on if the economy stays strong, if inflation stays sticky, if employment stays strong, why are we talking that? And he admits, well, back in March, he thought that you could get two, but the current data has shifted him. That's that shift that they got. Then you get the news about Israel and Hamas, and you understand that there is no truce talk. They're off the table right now. Israel's threatening to go into Ramah. And there's a big problem here. The problem is you can't keep killing innocent people and get away with it in the world opinion. And it's not going to happen for Israel. Time is their enemy. President Trump today said as much. He said, they got a real PR problem and time is their enemy. They either get this thing done fast or it's just going to keep working against them. And President Biden told them that today, apparently in a phone call, where he said, you cannot keep killing all these innocent people. You just killed 7 people, your troops, on Monday from the chef that's providing the food aid, and they targeted the cars in a certain way with their planes, and they blew them up, and they killed the people. And he said U.S. aid going forward is going to be predicated that this has to end that way. He didn't say they have to stop going after Hamas. They did say that they have to have controls and they have to have a game plan. So if they go into Rafah, I think I said Rafah, that will be a problem for them if they don't have that and have a way out. As for Hamas, I think you understand. They're playing the world card. No, we're not going to do anything. Why should we? We want to be part of the government the people want us to be. We want our people, before there's any truce, to be able to go back into the cities you've destroyed. But if that's where they want to go, they have the right to go. We want all our prisoners released, and then we'll give you the people that we're still holding, maybe. And you think Israel's going to bite on that. Okay, that isn't going to happen. So where it goes is anybody's guess, but what we do know is the world is getting fed up. The UK, 600 current members of the court system and past members have signed a petition asking the UK not to sell arms to Israel because they're concerned about genocide charges against them. So this is the world court. And you may not agree with what I'm saying, but it's reality, okay? I'm not making this up. It's not my opinion of it. That's what's going on. But the fear that Iran is going to do something, maybe the Strait of Hormuz, maybe block oil in some way, that's lifting oil prices again. You can see in the stock indices you're down, and lo and behold, when's the last time we've had a 2% break we can talk about? Not recently. That's for darn sure. And you could see what happened today. The market finally let go. We can now look at the market and say, for the short term at least, you have lower highs and lower low. You're under the 18-day average. The trend is down at this point until today's high is taken out. The market, in the end, stopped at the Ballinger band about 3 days ago, and now the market is pulling back down, and the next support's the lower band at 51.76, and you're already oversold. So quickly you're down. What was interesting today on the break is it happened late in the day, and you didn't see any of the programs that normally come in and start their buy mode come back to support the market. When you go to the NASDAQ, you went right back down to the Ballinger band. So in quick order over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, you've gone from the upper band to the lower, and you're very much in this sideways band we talked about. Still no trend in this market as you have a higher high and a lower low, and you're oversold. In the Dow, lower highs, lower lows, right into the support of the lower band. So would I be panicking if you're caught in these markets or you have your individual stocks long? Probably not. You're down to support areas, and you certainly, the 200-day average is, the 100-day average in green is waiting on this market down here. When you come to the Russell, you have a higher high, got that? A lower low, and you have fought at the 18-day average. And that's the point that I told you. I told you were going to battle in all these markets at the 18-day average when you first got down there on Monday. And any way you want to cut it, that analysis was on the money. So as much as I haven't been really right in the futures, I haven't been wrong in my overall analysis. It's entry points that are the key. The 10-year notes, I said I thought this would be an important zone, and it certainly has proven to be. Wouldn't surprise me if overnight the markets even try to get to the 18-day average, or tomorrow you can get there if the market is a weak jobs number. You may get one. I have no idea where it's going to come in. Better yet, how's the market going to interpret it? Because you're going to get a set of numbers and then we're going to quickly get the interpretations. When I see these numbers come out, I record instantly CNBC and Bloomberg, and I go back and hear all the different analysis from all the experts that come on. What parts are they seeing that I don't see, so I understand the report? Because I'll come out with my own analysis right away, and then the question is, what do they all see? Higher high, lower low, and the 5-year stops right where it should, by the way. Let me come back there. Against the lower band and getting your bounce, maybe you go to the 18-day on this one. Then we come to the 10-year. Same identical thing. All right. So now we get, excuse me, I'm going the wrong way on them. Here we come in. In the dollar index, we came down and we lost the bullish embedded reading. So I'm looking for price and the 18-day average to come together. Did we break the uptrend? You certainly stalled it out. Yes. And that puts this now in a market that's going to sit, look at this report and the other reports coming out. I, for one, don't think the CPI reports that we're going to shortly see, from everything I've seen in the month of March, end of March, beginning of April, the weighting of energy prices, some of the foods, not enough to stop inflation and say the CPI is coming down. I don't see it, at least in those in the energy market and that. I don't know enough about shelter, and we'll find out about that because shelter makes up a third of the general CPI. Lower low, higher high, fighting your battle right through here. Okay, we're looking at the British pound. It rallied back off the Bollinger Band bottom. First fought its battle at the 100-day average, fell to the 200 in that number, and sliced now through everything right up to where it should stall out. The problem for this market's the 18-day average, but they are seeing good battle results in the fight against inflation in the UK. Will they move sooner or later? I think it's going to depend in large part on what happens with the European Central Bank, because they'll set the tone and then other banks start making their move, which sort of forces, it's like herd mentality, what other central banks do to keep the economy going. In Bitcoin, your battleground's very clear. It's the 18-day average. You're going sideways now. So you made a short-term peak. You're still in an overall uptrend. The bias is fighting each day, doesn't want to be up or down, but you haven't said anything here of a washout. When you look at the differential between Brent and WTI, as I do, the higher it goes, the higher energy goes. It's being led by fears as to what's going to happen with Brent prices. And as you can see, it's driving higher. It's got the embedded reading. Today in WTI, we fell, and the market recovered late in the day, and it's still running. Gasoline didn't fall enough for me. I was hoping that it would fall in between Chicago time, 12 and 2, and then give a rebound. It fell, but it rebounded much sooner than I wanted in terms of time. I had one of my clients write me today and properly say, Ira, you've put a buy at a certain number in there. If it gets there, will it still be embedded? And I wrote him back and I said, it depends what time. If I see that it's heading that way late in the day, I wouldn't want to buy it. And I would have put out a cancel to buy because it was nicely under the market. It never got there, so I don't have to worry about it. I said I thought we were going to now fight for direction in nat gas. You're fighting every day at the 18-day average. You've taken the volatility out. You won't stay with that low volatility like this that long. So, a lot going on, a lot of the Bollinger Bands at work, and that's what I wanted to see. They're starting to come into play. And as the normal things come back into play, the markets get back to a normal condition. That, to me, is the key to always looking at what trade is doing. So if you'd like to learn about my concept of the Bollinger Bands, you do so by going to iraepstein.com under the word education, or move your cursor to the top here, give it a click, it'll take you to that area, and that's where you want to learn it. I'm Ira. You have yourself a good day, and I will talk to you all with the morning update first thing on Friday. Take care. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Ballinger bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.